What's up, vlog? So it's been a while since I made a video, and I guess there's a couple reasons behind it. Reason one, out of the couple videos that I have shot, I either A, don't like the content, or format or whatever it is. B, some of the videos I recorded didn't turn out very well. Like I've said before, one of the few places that I find refuge is in my truck, or making deliveries. And those few videos didn't turn out quite right. And C, just have a lot going on in the brain. The business has been going great. It's been growing really fast. I've been picking up new clients. Show sales, even though I'm not doing that many, they've been off the records. So business is great. Expanding, but the personal life has been somewhat of a struggle. By somewhat, I mean a really, really big struggle this year. Roller coaster started in January. Flew out to Florida to see my great-grandmother who turned 100. And while I was in the airport, the morning I went to fly out, my wife called me and said she was pregnant. So the entire way out, I was just stressing, just trying to figure that whole game out. By the time I got back from Florida, I was excited, I accepted it, and I was looking forward to the challenges and excitement that a new baby brings. Unfortunately, 2 or 3 or maybe it was a month and a half later, we go in for our first ultrasound appointment, and the doctor tells us that it is an invalid pregnancy and we can expect my wife to miscarry at any point. A week later, in traumatic fashion, she did exactly that. Woke me up at 2 a.m. We rushed to the hospital with our daughter at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. And I watched my wife go back to the ER while I'm clutching my daughter because we're all just super exhausted. And just watched my wife walk back into the ER doors, and nurse comes out probably 10 minutes later and says, "Look, your wife's going to be here for quite a while. Go back home with your daughter. This isn't the best spot for her to be, and we'll call you as soon as we have a time frame." When I go home, I don't sleep. Well, I kind of fade in and out while I'm sleeping with my daughter. But the entire time I'm having dreams of me losing my partner, my business partner, my life partner, etc., etc. Turns out she ended up being okay, but it was just a traumatic experience all around, especially for her, and it really just set up emotionally what started off as a rough year. Everything kind of boiled over last week. I got us into a minor little accident, fender bender. I rear-ended someone doing like 5 miles an hour. But anyways, bigger than that, that sparked off a lot of like deep-seated emotions for all the family, from us almost losing my wife, to the car accident, to X, Y, and Z, which really just kind of brings me to the broader point of life and winning and losing. No matter how much people online might broadcast that all they do is win, that life is easy, life is good, life is, nothing's wrong, they're full of shit. Everything comes at a cost, for good, the bad, the ugly, and the past 3 months or so have reminded me of that. I mean, life hasn't been a walk in the park for either my wife or I, but the past 2-3 years we've really been getting some momentum, and this was our first real obstacle in quite a while that really kind of checked me and made me kind of reevaluate, made me reevaluate. Overall, in this life I go pretty hard, whether it is going from daughter to business to wife to business to daughter. Not a lot of breaks, not a lot of downtime, go, 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 go. And these past 2 events have made me kind of, at least temporarily, everything is in a cycle, but at least temporarily made me slow down. So the accident was last Tuesday. I was actually supposed to go on Friday to Vegas the following Friday. That didn't happen, which kind of set off this almost, once I realized that, it kind of set off this chain of reactions of doubt, which is perfectly normal. The past 4 days, taking it relatively easy, decompressing as much as I can, kind of refocusing my mental energy, and I feel like I'm back, at least 90% back. I woke up this morning, happiest I've been in for the past, the past week, and back to feeling grateful, which is a great spot to be in. And one of the podcasts I listen to, and I've mentioned it before, is the MF CEO Project by Andy Frisella. If you don't listen to it, I highly suggest it. On his latest podcast, he was talking about his personal struggle with depression and with anxiety. And, the dude's running like a 9-figure business, and it was not refreshing. Refreshing is not the word, but it kind of was refreshing to hear that when even people at the top still struggle, and it's perfectly okay to struggle. The trick to overcoming the struggle is to realize that you're going to overcome it. Realize that life is going to have its valleys and peaks, and when you're in that valley, there's only one way to go, and that's up a peak. Sometimes you can win 1, 2, 3, 10 years down the road, and you're going to hit a 6-month snag, whether it's in your personal life, like I'm kind of going through now, whether it's in business, which I've gone through in the past. And every time I just stick my head down and grind it out and realize it's going to be better, inevitably it gets better. Personally, my biggest trick to get out of the funk is to look at things from a macro perspective. On a micro, the car, the accident, the miscarriage, which is not my wife's fault, which is no one's fault, it just didn't work out. Any relationship struggles, those are all micro. Those are stuff that can be handled on the day-to-day. When I'm talking about macro, I mean just zooming out of your life. The big thing I always try to say, no matter how terrible my day, month, half year so far is going to shit, is I woke up this morning. I'm breathing air. I have a house. I have a baby girl. I have a wife. I just try to list the things that I'm grateful for. And if nothing else, that puts me in a better perspective than saying, fuck today. Today's Monday. Today sucks. And just going about life in a negative fashion. In one of these ruts, my advice to you is to sit down and write out everything you're grateful for. And do that every single day. Do it in the morning and do it at night. Whatever it takes to make you realize that what you're going through now is temporary. If it's maybe a little more serious, maybe beyond that, get help. Talk to a friend, talk to a family member, talk to a coworker, call a hotline. There's more to life than being down. It's a big, beautiful world out there. Terrible shit goes on, but if you look at things from the macro perspective, I guarantee in the long run, you'll be thankful. That's it for today. I gotta get back on this vlog thing. I know I say that basically every time, but I think life is getting back to normal. So, thank you for the patience, guys. Thank you for the views. Thank you for the love. If you have any questions or comments, hit me up in the comments or email me, chris@roguecandlecompany.com. You can find me at Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Rogue Candle Co. Anyways, guys, thank you. See you next time.